Hi, everybody. Before we get to another great interview, the Two Opinionated podcast could really use your help. And it's easy, it's free. IMDb, which is the entertainment database, imdb.com, named us a top 100 podcast. We came in at number 82. That's a big deal because there's 15 million podcasts and growing. So to be named to anybody's top 100 list, pretty big deal for us. And the way you can help is to go to imdb.com, look up the Two Opinionated podcast, and that's it. Just bringing our page up. That traffic really helps us out. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. All we ask is that you subscribe. It's also free, but that really helps us to attract these amazing guests that we keep bringing on the program. And that's it. Two easy ways for you to support us, and we would really appreciate the help. Now let's get to that interview. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Two Opinionated. I'm so excited today. I've got filmmaker Daniel Masciari with me. So welcome, Daniel.
Thank you, Michael, for having me.
I'm excited to talk with you. We were supposed to talk a couple days ago, and I was a little under the weather, and you were nice enough to move it to today, and here we are.
All good with me. Yeah, I'll talk anytime.
So Daniel, let's start this way. Tell us a little bit about what got you into the entertainment business. That's a tough business to go into. What made you want to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a definitely a field that you should only really be in if you can't do anything else. If you don't have any other interests or skill sets.
Isn't that what they always say? If you can do anything else, don't go into entertainment.
Totally. Especially making indie films. This is my first indie film, and
Yeah.
it's taken a number of years to make, and it's incredibly rewarding. I wouldn't have done it any other way, but yeah, no, making films is it has to be a labor of love. It has to be something. I
That's
was
right.
thinking about this earlier today, not in preparation for this, but just thinking, I think a film really has to be something that if you pass, if you die, you're still happy it's living on because
That's right.
a film will live on hopefully forever so long as the hard drives and the hard drives are kept
That's right.
safe or the
Well, it's
LTO
not
tape.
like what is the Doctor Who? Some of the early Doctor Who's nobody's seen for decades because they can't find them.
Wow, yeah, I mean
That's
that's
a rarity, though. Most of the time, you make a film, it's out there forever.
yeah, no, for sure. I mean, archiving is an entire you know craft that you really need some solid people involved
That's
in
right.
the
That's
archive
right.
business.
Well, so when you were growing up, were you like did you try your hand at theater? Were you acting, or have you always wanted to kind of do the create your own?
Yeah, I think I sort of fell into it. My friend had this VHS camera of his
Yeah.
dad, and we were like 9, 10 years
I was
old.
gonna say, I think we all had those at one time.
Yeah, and I remember we were like having a sleepover or something, and I was hooked on just holding this camera
Yeah.
and filming my friends and asking them to do stuff. And we knew nothing about editing or anything about anything when it came to film. So we sort of shot it at like we'd shoot this and then go here and shoot this, and then it would sort of be edited on the tape, because
Right.
we didn't do any post editing at least at that time. So it was kind of in retrospect, I sort of fell into it because of my friend's VHS camera. And then my parents saw that I was interested and they got me this little Canon ZR 300 or 100, I forget,
Awesome.
a little camcorder, and made some terrible things with it. But I was really hooked on just the ability to create something out of nothing with friends.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that because what better, place to start than just with a bunch of buddies?
That's how, and I really feel like that's how it should be when you're working with people that you love and people that can get on the same wavelength. That's how it should be, because then
Yeah.
you can create something that you care about, and something. I think if you don't care about it, how can the audience care about it? Because you can feel if a film is loved or not.
That's true. I've always said that. Just like, like if occasionally you'll hear about a TV show or a film that's made where the cast or the crew or something, they didn't get along.
Right.
And I think you can tell it. Like
Hmm.
sometimes you'll watch shows and you may not know why. You
Yeah.
can't quite put your finger on it, but something's just off. And I think a lot of
Yeah.
times that's the reason, movies or a TV show doesn't do well is because the chemistry was off.
For sure. And I don't know how you feel about this, but I've talked about this a number of times on podcasts
Yeah.
recently. You can feel if a film has like a mood of some kind, right?
Yeah.
So, there are so many films I love, and I can't necessarily remember all the plot points or all of the story points,
Yeah.
but it's as if those story points and those plot points, even the characters, were to serve some underlying mood or like subtext. And I
Yeah.
think that sort of cozy feeling that, say, a Hitchcock film has, or
Yes.
I don't know what that says about me that a Hitchcock film has a cozy
Oh,
feeling,
I
but
knew what you meant. So yeah.
but there's there's something about a film. It can really capture a tone through picture and
That's
sound
right.
and really create almost like a little world of sorts.
Yeah.
So I think that's the power of film.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a great way to kind of explain that. Do you still have any of those tapes?
My dad must have them somewhere, but I choose never to look at them again.
See, I think you should put them out there. Get
Oh,
your
no
YouTube
way.
channel, throw them up there.
I'll maybe don't hold me to this, but I'll send them to you if you want. But I don't even want to look at them.
Well, I always kind of like if you could go back and watch, and you may be able to. I'm not sure. If you could go back and watch, say, Steven Spielberg's childhood filming, you'd watch that.
For
Yep,
sure, for
he
sure.
might hate it, but
When
you'd
he
watch
watch
it
it,
just
he
to see
might.
where he came from, and that's it. So when you hit it big, then you release them.
Yeah, and like put a big watermark on it.
And they'll be like, "Hey, he's really improved." So Daniel, stationed at home. It's your first independent film. Tell us about it. What's Stationed at Home about?
Yeah, it's my first feature film. It's a film that I can talk about the inception as if you'd like.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
please.
so I was on a bus from New York City, where I was living, to Ithaca, New York, and we
Yeah.
stopped in Binghamton. And
How
Binghamton,
long a trip is that for you?
so from New York to Binghamton, where we stopped, it's about 3 hours.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so it's pretty north, and it was a real cold winter night.
Yeah.
And I stepped up to stretch my legs, and I was listening to the song Dusk by Duke Ellington, which is this
Yep.
really beautiful old-timey jazz song.
Yep.
And something about the cold weather and seeing this old abandoned building on a train track, it's this vast building with that music in the cold at night, in this architecture is so vast. Not just that building, but the city of Binghamton is just
Yeah.
gorgeous. And it was desolate. It was very lonely, very isolating feeling. There was just something
It
about
sounds
all of
like a
that.
movie set right there.
Yeah, yeah. There was just something that hit my soul, and I imagined Eric Bjarnar, who plays Ralph in my film,
Yeah.
as a cab driver, just passing over his bridge, and something about all of that together was just cooking up this story in my mind.
Yeah.
So that was the initial inspiration, and the
I mean,
film
that's
is
that's pretty cool because I'm assuming you didn't go on that trip, thinking I'm going to make a feature length film.
no, no, I didn't think that.
So I'm always curious where the inspirations come from. Well, you laid it out pretty good.
Yeah, and I think too, I was in the mood for it as well, because being on a bus, for me, being on a train, a bus, some sort of public transit, it's something about the movement of
Yeah.
being in motion. And if you're listening to music or not, you're forced to daydream. And,
Yeah.
I think there's something about motion that makes you daydream a lot, because your mind is a bit more lucid, I
Yeah,
think.
because you're not completely asleep or resting, so your mind can roam a little bit.
Hmm. Hmm. And observe.
Yeah.
There are characters on buses, there are characters
Oh
on
yeah.
trains. So a lot of little things that can really make your imagination,
You're going
that
to put this story out there and you're going to have wannabe filmmakers traveling the country on buses and trains trying to be inspired.
literally every film, like I mean, I've done short films before. Every idea I've ever gotten has been on public transit. That's why my friends joke with me and that, every film I do is going to have some form of public transit, even though like a cab is not quite public transit. I guess it sort of is. But yeah, there's something about public transit or just being in motion like that that is very inspiring to
Yeah.
me.
I love that. I love that. So that got it kind of percolating. How did you kind of take that idea and get it written down to where you could at least start thinking about making it?
Yeah, so I always I keep a handy notebook on me at all times. Ever since I was
Oh, see, now I like that you've got an actual notebook. You're
always
not just using your phone or whatever. I'm the same way. I like I like textual. I like to
harder
feel it.
harder to lose it because you actually put the physical effort into
Right.
writing something. So I didn't write the film handwritten, but I
Yeah.
all of the ideas I've got for anything that go into that notebook. And then eventually what happens, at least for me, is I have enough that feels like they're all connected. And
Yeah.
then I transcribe those ideas. I just transcribe them very mechanically, literally what's said. And then I expand on that
Oh, I
in
love
this
that.
text edit document. It's not even in the
Yeah.
script yet. And then eventually I see the first scene, I write that. I might get the last scene or like the first three scenes. And then
Yeah.
it's this factory system where it goes notebook, text edit, document, script. And it's just this factory
Yeah,
that
you've turned it into a routine where
yeah,
that the whole process probably feels comfortable to you.
exactly. And then eventually you get to a point where you're pretty much just in the script and maybe the notebook, but you kind of lose that middle part
Yeah.
because then it's like just a more direct
Well, then
approach.
you're in it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
At that point you're in it and you know what the thing is
Right.
and it's no longer a it's still discovery, but it's no longer kind of understanding the language of it, like the sort of thing you're trying to communicate. So
Yeah.
that's how I work at least, but everyone has
Well,
their
how
own.
long did it take you to actually get that, kind of the initial script
Yeah, the
on
first
paper?
draft took a few months.
Yeah,
And
that's not
then
that's a while, but that's not terrible. Yeah.
yeah, it took a few months. And then of course we had like 10 drafts by the time we
Right.
started shooting. And
Yeah,
then
the first draft is definitely not the end.
no. And then because then you get inspired by locations. My buddy
Yeah.
Jackson and I would go to Binghamton. He was our cinematographer, just brilliant. One of my best friends, just a brilliant artist. And we would get inspired by the city of
Yeah.
Binghamton, whether it's like a location or a texture of a building or, um, you know, sound even.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, so stationed at home, are we going through kind of like a day in the life of this cab driver, or
Yeah.
are we following him, or does the
Yeah.
story take a side route at some point?
Yeah. So the film, just a sort of bottom line idea, the film is about this cab driver in
Yeah.
1998. And to all the viewers who haven't
There's a
seen it,
period piece.
it's a period piece, a black and white film.
Oh,
And
I forgot it was black and white. I love
yeah,
that.
yeah. And it's about this cab driver who's waiting to see the first pass to the International Space Station. And he shares this love of space with his late mother. And he meets all of these wacky misfit passengers who take him on this adventure throughout the city of Binghamton over one Christmas Eve night. So it's a film that's really about it's definitely a comedy in a lot of ways. Some might call it a tragicomedy,
Yeah.
but it's definitely a film about characters finding the meaning of home in their lives. I think that's one way I'd put it. And it's got this sort of idea of the cosmos in it as well because of the space station and also this clear, cold winter night sky.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you classify this as a Christmas movie?
I think so. Yeah,
I
I
mean, we
think
made
that
Die Hard a Christmas movie, so
yeah, it's I definitely it is a Christmas movie. It's a
yeah.
black and white Christmas movie, a different kind of Christmas movie. I think some people, one reviewer called it when we were playing at Glasgow an alternative Christmas classic.
Oh, I
So I
love
think
that.
for
Yeah.
some people this I think is becoming their Christmas movie. It's not a and nothing against Christmas movies in color, but it's a black and white
Right, right.
Christmas movie, so it's got a different vibe to it
Well,
than.
for a lot of us, that's kind of a throwback.
Yeah, like It's a Wonderful
Most
Life.
of the TV I watched when I was, little was black and white, whether it was in black and white or just the TV was black and white. That's how I watched it. So it's kind of, I have that nostalgia feeling, when
Yeah,
something's in black and white.
definitely, and that's a feeling we wanted to push into
Yeah.
in the making of the film was this feeling of nostalgia, and also with the sound too. So when people watch, because the film's out now all across North America, Amazon
Amazing.
Prime, Apple TV, those are the most common places.
I
But
know
also Dish Network.
we're planning we do a holiday party
Yeah,
every year with just my family and comes in, but we're a large family.
yeah,
But that's the plan is we're going to watch it at the
yes,
holiday party because we can fit. I don't know. We could probably get 30 of us in this
nice.
studio, so we're just going to pack in and make an evening with it.
Hell
Bring
yeah,
in, like we're going to cater in food. And that's our movie.
I love it. I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah. I'll take pictures for you.
That's
I'll get you some pictures.
Oh, please,
Yeah.
please. Oh my goodness, that would be beautiful.
We love
And
to
yeah,
do that. Like we started that a few years ago. When I had somebody on the show, we just get together as family and watch whatever it was. And I saw this one was kind of Christmassy. So I was like, hey, I got an idea, and that's what we're doing.
I love it. Love it. And yeah, get the sound cranked up
Oh
when
yeah.
when you watch.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
it's a,
Thanks to my brother, because I'm not technical, but he is. He set us up a sound system in here, so yeah, we're set.
oh,
It's not quite theater quality, but it's not too far
oh,
from it.
all good. All good. Yeah, no, the another I want to shout out to the Jack Lydon, one of my good friends who did the sound design. The sound design is just beautiful in this film. It's
That's
so
so
well done.
important too.
Yeah.
You know, if your sound is crap, it doesn't matter how good the film is.
Yeah, no, and it's half the film
Yeah,
is the sound, and it really adds to the atmosphere of
yeah,
films. And you can tell it's funny too how audiences they'll be more forgiving if there's like buzz in a camera if it goes in and out of focus,
right.
but they're not forgiving if the sound isn't correct or
No,
is
that's right.
immersive, you know?
Well, it's just too hard to watch.
Yeah.
It's hard to get in it, which most of us, if we're watching, we want to be in it, just really in it. And it's hard to do that if you've got sound issues.
Yeah, and because I think there's something, it's just got to be something evolutionary where like we're wired to hear if something's off,
Right.
like what's
That's
that,
right.
and I mean think about like horror films, like so
Yeah.
much of it is in the sound. Like half the time when
Oh
we're
yeah.
scared is the sound
Well,
design.
back in the day when something was off, we were probably thinking, okay, I'm about to die. So
Yeah, exactly. But evolution.
so we're still using it. It's just not quite as dire.
Yeah, we're using it for entertainment
That's
purposes
right.
now. We've gone so far away from our roots
That's
that
right.
we're now just entertaining ourselves to be afraid of things.
Right. Well, so when you got to the casting part, how did you go about that? Was it people that you knew? Did you go through like just regular Hollywood casting? How did you find your cast?
Well, before I even talk about the process, I gotta just shout out to these actors. This film, it just keeps getting praised for the performances, and that to me, as a writer director, is just one of the biggest compliments because these actors are just incredible. Eric
Yeah,
Bjorner, Daryl Johnson, Eliza Vincourt, Peter Morris, Jeff Dumont, etc. Jamie Donnelly, who was in the original Grease, she said yes to be in this film.
that's
She plays
amazing.
Jan. It was incredible. I met her at a film festival. I screened two films, and she was like, "I want to be in your world." And to me, I was like, "Okay, thank God I have a script." But essentially, I mean, like one thing I think is really interesting about this, and I never thought about it much when I was making the film because I just go off inspiration, inspired
Yeah,
by the city of Binghamton, inspired by certain actors. I wrote the parts for 75% of the actors in the film, roughly. And because I knew they were just incredible actors and I couldn't get them
right.
out of my mind, one mind. But basically, they're just, their chemistry is just beautiful. Their understanding of the city of Binghamton
Yeah.
as a location and a mood of the mood of the
Well, and that
film.
helps. when your actors really get the location.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Because then they get the pacing, they get
Yeah,
the tone, they get the world of the film. And that to me is like, if you get that, you can work on and play with different things.
that's right.
And in fact, Eliza Van Court, fun fact, she was an acting teacher for a number of these actors, including me.
Oh,
She was my
really?
acting teacher, and she's incredible in the film. And so, yeah, it was really a process where I have these muses, and that's how I always love to work is
Yeah.
something is just inspiring, and then I want to see it. I want everyone to see this, how life can really be a source of inspiration for a film.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't necessarily have to have any, like huge tragedies or monstrous special effects. You don't need any of that if you've got a good story.
Exactly. And I think too, it goes back to what thing I've been talking about, which is our film came out of nowhere. We
Yeah,
have no huge names in the film. We really just came out of left field. And and just to, have our amazing festival run, starting with Glasgow Film Festival to Brooklyn, Buffalo, and to be all across North America for
amazing.
anyone to see is just truly, it's surreal because this film was really a passionate project from a lot of
Yeah.
really talented people.
Does it open it up to where maybe the next one's a little bit easier?
You'd hope so. I think every film, I think every film is going to be challenging. It's just
Yeah,
hard to make films.
it
It's
is.
hard. It's hard to deal with all of the obstacles that go into making a movie.
Yeah.
In our case, we dealt with it. I thought in large part because of Matt Fleck, one of our producers, Bethany Hedges, another producer, who really offset as many obstacles as we could
Yeah.
with.
Well,
Because
that's a good producer does that.
totally. And the weather was on our side, luckily, meaning it was freezing, but we didn't
Yep.
have like rain.
Yeah,
So
save you some money there.
yeah, exactly. So it was truly the film gods were on our side. And there's a scene where a number of people have brought this up to me, and I'm so happy they noticed it because it's so subtle. But there's a scene where they're like two characters, Ralph and Harry, are having a meal together,
Yeah.
and this wind, this gust of wind, brings all this snow from the buildings, and it looks like there's like a blizzard out there. And I'm like, I can't write that. That's just film gods on our
That's
side.
right.
So.
Yeah, they're just looking out for you.
They're just looking out. I definitely, yeah, makes me, feel like Zeus and Poseidon. Like there's like 12 gods, these film gods.
Well, what is that? Clash of the Titans. You get to see them. They moving the little figures around, and like, yeah, that's us.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Did you get to? Did you do like a premiere? Did you do a red carpet?
Yeah, so yeah, going back, we did Glasgow Film Festival.
Yeah,
That was our world premiere in Scotland, which was incredible. It was so cool to be
amazing.
welcomed. Yeah, no, it was.
It'd be cool just to get to go.
Yeah, I've never been to the UK before that.
Yeah.
So it was an incredible trip. Like 13 of our or maybe even more, like 15 of our casting crew came and it was
Oh wow.
incredible. Then we did our US premiere at Brooklyn Film Festival, which was
Yep.
amazing. I love that festival. And then Buffalo, Western New York premiere, we played in the Arctic in Canada for Canadian
Oh
premiered
yeah.
Yellowknife.
Hey, so you've got to do a
Uh,
bunch of premieres.
yeah, we had to Spain. It played at Girona in Spain, and then something else I can't talk about yet. But basically, we have things brewing.
Oh, that's
So
exciting. Well, yeah. So did those things come up because of this film? Like, were you interacting with people that maybe could help you on a later project? Is that what you're talking about?
wait, with what
With
exactly?
Station at Home, did some of the things that you can't talk about did they occur because you were out there promoting the film?
I think well, it's a festival I can't talk about yet.
Oh, okay, okay,
But
okay.
basically, it's like an embargo thing.
Yeah, yeah,
But
gotcha.
basically, but no, I do think though, like after you have some festivals and then there's like more, awareness of the film,
Right.
it starts to get pulled out of the haystack a bit more because there's so many films being
Well,
made.
yeah, it's the same thing with podcasts. It's so
Yeah.
hard to get your project heard above the noise because there's so many.
So many, and which is like on the one hand a really cool thing because
Yeah,
you get a lot of stories that couldn't have been told before,
that's right.
and it means that you have to just find your path. So I think with our film, again, a film that really came out of nowhere, we I mean, again, like we Eliza Vincourt, my biggest champion, she's an incredible producer. She really helped navigate the path of, okay,
Yeah.
where can this film have a life in the world, not just, on my computer. So it was so it was a real
Yep.
it was a real journey. It's been an incredible ride. And yeah, and now I'm sitting here with you talking about it being out in the world.
I
So
know that has to be just amazing. And I know you've done a lot of short films, which I'm sure kind of greased the wheel as far as getting experienced enough to make a longer film. But there's something special about making your first full length movie. I mean, that's
there is
that's that's something
yeah,
not too many people can say they've done.
it's tough. I mean, it took us about well, at this point, 7 years. But it took
Which isn't unusual for an independent film.
no, I think, and again, it's like I always say, I want to make a film that, can live on, that I'm happy I
That's
made.
right.
I didn't want to compromise anything. I just wanted to work with incredible
Yeah.
collaborators, who get the tone, who, share the same passion of making
Yeah.
films without compromising.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Did you write yourself a cameo in it?
I'm disappointed I didn't. Because then if I wanted to do acting, I could have gotten my
Well,
SAG.
yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, help yourself out a little bit.
I didn't do that. In retrospect, I'm happy I didn't because
Yeah,
it would have been. But then again, there's part of me that's like, oh man, I could have gotten that. But it's like you got to think about the film first,
that's
and
right. I mean, it'd been
there
easy
was
though.
no
You
point.
could have been a passenger at some point.
No, but then the film. Then I'd have to cut myself out,
That's right.
which is hard enough. Which honestly would have been easier than cutting other parts of the film out. It's a
Yeah.
natural part of editing, but yeah, no, I think it was a good decision not to.
Is there do you have a score? Is there music in the film?
Yeah, so interesting story about that. So when I was writing the film, I had just thought of this old-timey jazz music. So
Yeah,
we have a lot of old-timey jazz in the film, which is really wonderful. And then we
love that.
have two songs that I always wanted from Gaucho. They're this incredible gypsy
Ooh.
jazz band out in San Francisco. They're incredible. So I sent them the script like years ago, and before I had raised any money, and I was like, I want your music. I love your music. And then they worked with us, and we have two pieces in their film during a cop chase, and they're just incredible. Dave Ricketts is brilliant.
That's amazing.
And then as I was editing the film, I never thought I'd need a score.
Yeah,
And then while I was editing, I'm like, I absolutely need a score. So I hit up someone I had worked with tangentially, Logan Nelson,
yeah.
and he created this just incredible score in the film. And in the trailer, you can hear it toward the end of the trailer,
Yep.
and it's a truly magical score. It really blends. I don't want to give away too much to the viewers, but the film kind of plays with another dimension of the city of Binghamton,
Okay.
and his score really kind of brings
Kind of
them.
highlights that.
So it's it was absolutely necessary, and yeah, it wasn't intended, but came out that way.
I know it sounds like and I'm sure it's just good management on your part, but you kind of found all the people that you needed to find.
Yes, and it that's a big part of it because making a film is no small task, and
No.
you need people who are that just love what they do,
Yeah.
just love what they do so much that they want to contribute it to your film. And yeah, they're like, I could name everyone in the film, and Jackson Jarvis, our cinematographer, is just, I mean, like I said, he was scouting with me locations when all I had was a script. That's it. So, and it was a
I love
real
that.
taking Greyhound buses to Binghamton in the winter to look at locations with me. It's incredible.
Yeah, it actually sounds like the whole journey hasn't been terrible.
No, it's funny. In retrospect, it was. obviously making a film is incredibly difficult. It takes a
Yeah.
lot of time. Um, but I miss a lot of the times when it was a real, like how are we gonna do this?
Yeah. Well,
I
after the
sort of miss
fact,
this.
those are the best times.
100%. And it's, yeah, you're gonna bring a tear to my eye. And those are the best time. Those are really, I mean, of course, it's easy to say that when
Well,
the
yeah, when
film's
you're in
out.
it, they're not the best.
No, exactly. Exactly. So, it's funny how you can have both headspaces there for
That's right.
sure. Where, yeah, it is both really challenging and also at the same time, some of my most fondest memories. So,
What was the challenge that came up that you weren't expecting that kind of gave you some issues?
when we were shooting, say,
Yeah,
it's always it's so funny because I always say, like, whenever I do podcasts and people ask me a question along those lines, I'm like, I go down memory lane again
that's right.
because you try to repress as
Yeah,
many of those
push all the bad down.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it again, it's so hard to remember because it went well. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
we were so prepared, and I'm sure something will come to my mind as I talk about this, but we were so
I
prepared.
mean, that's a good thing, though, right?
Yeah, and it's, I think there was one, oh yes. So I mean, it kind of goes without saying to this kind of film, but it was freezing. So there was one night that was negative like 15
Oh my
degrees.
gosh.
And so we had to move some things around. So I think the overall cold was something that we had to withstand, and
Yeah, I mean that's an obstacle.
is an
Minus
obstacle
15.
for sure. But it's like, again, there isn't like one thing that comes to mind.
Yeah,
It really went smoothly. I think in the editing room there was also too much, which is strange because we shot this film in, if you want to know how long it took to make the film.
yeah, of course.
Um, it took we shot this in 15 days.
See, that's
So, which
pretty
is,
quick, right?
yeah, yet the first cut of the movie was like 3.5 hours. So we
That may
had
be
to
a little long.
maybe a little long.
Well, maybe it was meant to be a miniseries.
No, it was just, we had to trim it down.
So what you're
Um,
telling me is there's a director's cut out there
I
that's
don't know
like,
if I'd stand behind the 3.5 hour one. I don't, I don't know if I'd stand by the one that came out as the director's
yeah,
cut.
yeah,
But but yeah, no, it was no, I mean, lots of challenges in making a film, but I think, when you work with people who all believe in the project and believe in
right.
you, there's no obstacle you can't get past.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Are you already working on the next one, or are you just taking the time to kind of enjoy this one?
it's kind of both, I think I'm enjoying promoting this and talking about it and
Yeah,
screening it. That's an absolute joy for me. And yeah, and then another foot is in another world that, where I'm writing. So yeah, it's kind of a double whammy kind of
yeah,
approach right now. So
yeah, yeah. It's busy,
yes, it's
but
very
not in a
busy.
bad way. Busy
No,
in
in
a
a,
good
in a
way.
good way. No
Yeah.
complaints.
Yeah, I know. I thought about this the other day. I was like, the times that it's busy in a good way, I don't have enough of those.
Yeah, and it's so easy to say, "Hey, wow, I need a break from having too much enjoyment."
Right?
But it's true. Like, sometimes you can be enjoying things too much, where you're just enjoying the things you're doing, and you actually sometimes just need nothing, just like,
Yeah.
a
No, I do
day.
know that. I'm
Yeah,
an introvert,
yeah,
so
me too. Me
I
too.
need nothing quite a bit, especially when there's been something.
Yeah,
Then after that, I need nothing.
yeah. Nothing is great. Nothing is the best thing in the world.
My nothing is usually I like to watch like sitcoms that I've seen 100 times.
Yeah.
Because it's just something I can do that's kind of mindless. I enjoy it. It's almost like comfort food.
Well, it's warm, right? Like,
Yeah,
it's like a warm,
yeah.
like, yeah. What sitcoms are you into? Seinfeld or?
Oh Lord, I have literally been through all of them. I went all the way back like I ran out of all, Seinfeld, Friends, Big Bang, Modern Family, any of them you can think of. So I went back to like Cheers. I watched
Oh.
Cheers. I watched Frasier. I went, and wasn't enough. So I went back and watched MASH. And so I'm like, I'm running out of comedies to watch.
Yeah, well, I definitely feel you on that, especially with Seinfeld. I grew up on that show.
Oh my gosh! So I'll give you a quick Seinfeld story because this one is my favorite. I'm such a fan of his still to this day. He's still hilarious. But when I was I'm remarried, but when I was married the first time, which was back early '90s, I had a little girl, and we took a plane ride to Fort Myers to visit my wife's grandparents. We were
Hmm.
taking our daughter down. They hadn't met her yet. Taking her down. She was, I don't know, she was walking, so maybe a year and a half, 2 years old, somewhere in there. And we're on this plane going to Fort Myers, and she had gotten loose and run up to the first class cabin. And they had a little curtain or something to get up there. So I went up there to get her, and she's just up there chatting away, with somebody.
Yeah.
And I get up there, and this guy says, "Is this yours?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Sorry, she's bothering you and stuff." And I start to turn away. Well, it was Jerry Seinfeld.
What? Wow.
And I'm just trying to get her out of there. I wasn't even paying attention. And then I'm walking away. I'm like, "Holy crap."
Wow. That is a
He was
wild.
very nice. He was very polite with her. So, which,
That must have been.
how are you going to be rude to a 2-year-old?
That must have been something. Oh my goodness.
And no clue what she was chatting, but she was definitely chattering. I have no idea what she said.
Wow.
Daniel, thank you for taking a little bit of time. The movie sounds amazing. I can't wait to watch it and see for myself. But good for you for getting this vision out there. It's so hard. I mean, we all have those kind of visions, but most of us never do anything with them. You actually had the vision and then took 7 years, but got it out. That's amazing.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah, it's like I said, it's an incredible feeling, and I love that you're watching it with 30 people coming
Oh
up.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's
It's going to be fun. I mean, it'll be a movie theater environment. Just no movie theater. The
that's
food will be
fantastic.
better though,
Yeah, just get the popcorn out.
because yeah, that's one thing with our family. We love to eat,
Well,
so the
that's
food's going to be amazing.
hey, there's a decent amount of eating in the film
Okay,
to a certain degree, so
there we
we eat
go.
a
There
lot.
we go. Well, okay. So Daniel, a couple things before we wrap up. Is there anything else that you're working on that we can kind of keep an eye out for?
I can't talk about it exactly because it's
Yeah,
so early. So off air, I could fill you in a little bit, but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's such early stages.
Well,
Um,
so is it another film project, or is it a TV, or is it something different?
no, it's film,
Yeah, yeah,
film.
yeah, yeah. Would you be interested in doing a TV show at some point?
I think it really depends on on what the idea is.
Yeah.
What I love about films is they're like one and done. They're like
Right.
poems in a way, and
Yeah.
to me, that's just a simpler way of, I don't know,
Well,
expressing
yeah, you
things.
can tell the whole story all at once.
Yeah, it's just that's the story. It's beginning, middle, and end, and
Yeah.
and there you go. But I mean, obviously, I love certain TV shows. I love Better Call Saul. I mean, anything
Well,
that
yeah, and
Vince
that's
Gilligan's
that.
doing.
There's a level of TV now that we've never really had. I mean, there's TV
Yeah.
that it's almost like watching a movie every episode.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I definitely have a bias toward films, but who knows? Time will tell what happens. So I think
Next time I talk to you, you'll be like, "Yeah, I'm doing this TV show." No, that's awesome. I can't wait when you're ready to talk about it, reach back out. And we'll do it again.
I'd love that. Yeah, no, I love talking with you, man. And yeah, we got to do this again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you've got my contact info. So yeah, when you're ready, we'll just come back. We'll talk about whatever you want to. But before we wrap up today, where if we're interested, where can we go to find out more about the movie? And are you available on social media?
Yeah, I love it. So this film, just to remind everyone, is stationed at home. You can watch it
Yep.
on Prime or Apple TV. If you're
That
in,
has to be a good feeling
it's
to
an
to
yeah,
turn on, Apple or Prime, and there's your
it's
movie.
it's it's awesome. Yeah, and if you're out in the middle of nowhere, you can watch it on Dish Network. And if you need the satellite, a DVD, and then you can follow us at Stationed at Home Film on
Yeah.
Instagram or Stationed at Home on Facebook. Stationedathome.com is where you can find, that's the mothership
Yeah.
of all the all the
All the
information.
stuff.
And then if people want to follow me, it's Daniel V Masciari. That's Masciari, on Instagram, or samething.com for website. So yeah, that's about it.
That's awesome. That's awesome, and they definitely should follow you. I think you're so talented as a writer. I can't wait to see the movie.
Thank you, Michael. I can't wait for you to see it as well.
Yeah, we'll have to talk. I'll have to holler at you once I see you, because that yeah, I know I'm gonna love it. And I'm I'm the type of person that always loves the kind of cult stuff.
Mhm.
Like I love knowing something or seeing something that maybe somebody else hadn't seen, because I want to share it. I
Yeah.
want to pass that on to somebody, and I always love that stuff. So I won't have too many to share this one with, because they're all going to be here.
Well, hey, maybe they can share it along. Like, it
Yeah,
was
they can
funny.
share it to everybody else.
Sometimes I feel like I'm so removed. I was talking to my friend Pete, who plays George in the film, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, one person tells one person, another person, it's like a virus," and he's like, "Yeah, Daniel, it's called viral."
Yeah,
And so I'm like, okay, so I had to sort of break it down to what it is,
that's
and
right.
there's a term for that nowadays. So,
You know,
so
we've all had those moments where you're like, I'm really on to something here. And they're like, yeah, that's been out forever.
it's been the word is there's a word for it.
That's
It's
right. It's
been
like, it's
used.
known.
Yeah.
All right, Daniel, hold on one second. Daniel Masciari, the movie is stationed at home. It's out now. Do yourself a favor, check it out. Give Daniel your support. I think we're going to be hearing a lot from him as we go forward. He's a talented guy. Station Home sounds terrific. Those of you that follow me, keep an eye out. I'll post uh, when we've watched the film. I'm excited to see it. The trailer was so good that it made me want to watch. So definitely keep an eye out. Stationed at home. If you're finding us for the first time, appreciate you being here. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Please subscribe. It really helps us out. It's free, but we use those subscriptions to help encourage these terrific guests to come on the program. Our website is meistercon.com. Please check that out. It has over 1,000 episodes, audio and video versions. If we're doing anything in studio, covering a convention, going on location, anything we have going on, be on the website, meistercon.com. Thank you guys so much. Till next time. Bye, everybody.